My name is Amal Mali. I'm from originally from Lebanon. I moved to Gig Harbor about 13 years ago, and we build houses here in the area. Let's see. I had a few months, about 6 months ago or so, I was struck by incredible back pain, and I could only associate that with landscaping. I was doing a lot of landscaping. I've been doing a lot of landscaping at that period of time, and but also being in construction. Doing a lot of heavy lifting and just being on my feet. It felt 24/7 sometimes. Probably did a lot of compression, bones, compression and things like that. At least that's what the doctors had told me. It's what they believe is brought this severe back pain. When I say back pain, it was tremendous back pain. It was so much back pain. It was so much pain that I passed out from it. And I never passed out from anything before in my life. I had pain, I had tremendous amount of pain, but never to the level of passing out from it. My friend was there when I passed out. Luckily, he was there, so I did not injure myself when I fell because I was standing. And the pain, though I was in pain for months before, what happened was I stood up at that moment in time on that night, and the pain just shot through me. And from when I came out of my coma, it had gone for hours, but I was told I was only passed out for maybe a minute. The dream was the best way he described it is a kind of not an out-of-body experience, but when you're having, when you're trying to cross over and like you're about to die. So that's how painful it was. I saw the dream was a dream, and it was definitely a very, very intense dream that took. As I said, I thought it was hours. It was only a few seconds. I woke up. The next day, I said, I have to go to the emergency room. And we went to the emergency room. 6 hours later, how the emergency rooms are, from waiting to actually being seen. They did the MRI scan. They did, whatever they need to do. It was very well done. And they found a cyst in one of my ovaries. And they couldn't diagnose back pain, but they handed me about 5 different drugs. I mean, heavy, heavy drugs. The kind of drugs, I don't remember their names, but the kind of drugs that people are getting hooked up on. That's how strong those pills were to relieve me from the pain. And I took them. They didn't cause any relief. They caused a lot of drowsiness. They caused madness, really. It was maddening, physically and mentally, psychologically destructive, and the pain wasn't going away. It put me to sleep, it sedated me, it didn't fix it. It didn't fix me. So one day, on these heavy medications, I was able, the pain wasn't at 100% of the time. It would fluctuate. So on the few hours or days where I could actually be able to walk, that's how strong it was. I take advantage, and I do errands instead of just on the sofa laying in complete agony. Can't even turn left or right. I was just laying on my back in complete agony. For the first time, I understood how it is when people want to have assisted suicide. That's how painful the pain was. And I said, if that's how it's going to be for the rest of my life, because nothing was fixing it, the drugs weren't fixing it. Let me back up. They prescribed that I go to see a physical therapist, and that even made it 10 times worse. And I've heard physical therapy sometimes it can, improve somebody, or I heard it also going in the other direction, and that was my story, that was my case. So in the physical therapy, the therapist started trying to manipulate my bones, he ended up causing severe, from the back pain, he ended up causing pain in the side, my front side, where the cyst was. And so now I have a double whammy. I went in there to get fixed for my back. Now my back isn't fixed, and the pain doubled up in different parts of my body. I have two places that are hurting tremendously. On one of those days where I was able to walk around, my pain is not always at 100%. Thank God. Sometimes I would be able to walk around, and on those very few times that I was able to manage to get myself up and get out of the house, I did. And I went to the Metropolitan, a grocery store, and I was getting some soup. There's when I met Stefan. And we just stuck a conversation real quick. He was asking me a few questions, and it was just very relaxing. We were just connected immediately. We went and we had our soup, and right before we left, we were about to leave, Stefan asked me if I have any pain. And I didn't tell him about my ovary area, where I had the cyst. I just said, yeah, I have back pain. When you're in so much pain, it seems like that's all you do. You think about the pain, all you do is you talk about your pain. You're complaining about the pain. Nothing else exists in your life but the pain. So usually, I don't tell people about my ailments or what was wrong with me, but because of what I was going through, sure, you want to know about my pain? I'll let you know. I got back pain. So he said, okay. I can pray for you and see, and get that pain, see if we can get, rid of that pain. And I'm like, okay, I'm not religious at all. I'm very skeptical about people who claim religion or say they're religious. I do believe there are definitely authentic people of faith. The majority, in my opinion, either have some level of faith to me, my subjective idea of what faith is. So they have some idea of faith, and some of them are just, for lack of a better word, I could call them complete fakes. So when I saw the picture, the shows on TV where somebody, they start speaking in tongues and they smack somebody on the forehead, and next thing, they're snapping and popping and twisting. And so I'm like, all right, here we go. Here's hocus pocus, right? Here comes hocus pocus. But, here we're at the Metropolitan. How dangerous could it be? And how could you say no to Stefan? Look at, you saw him, he's such a peaceful, kind-looking man. You're like, let him have a good day. Make his day. So what he did is he said, sit back. And I'm like, okay. And he lifted my legs. And this is, we're at the Metropolitan, the grocery store, in the middle of the store, and he's lifting my legs, and he goes, one leg is shorter than the other. And he starts praying for my pain to go away. And it wasn't, I mean, I thought it was going to be, I thought here comes, here comes the rattlesnakes from his pocket or his jacket, or some kind of rattlesnake sounding, thing or whatever. But no, he just prayed. Simple English, simple language. He prayed to Jesus. He prayed to God. He prayed in the name of Jesus to, get rid of my pain, and over it was. It was very quick, very quick to me. Meaning that I thought, this is going to take, an hour long. It was a prayer, and when the prayer ended like a personal prayer. And we're good. So I stood up, and I hadn't noticed anything yet, thinking that, all that medication that I'm on is just getting me to get up and somehow feel cheerful. I had a good conversation with somebody, had a good cup of soup, and, sometimes these things uplift you, right? We said our goodbyes, and I walked out of the Metropolitan, and that fresh, it was kind of windy that day, so that little fresh, cold, winter's wind hit my face and my body, and I felt completely different. So I'm like, this is weird. So I kept walking to my car that was parked, a distance away, and I was walking normal. I wasn't limping. I wasn't having to hold my side, didn't have to walk slow, didn't have to kind of be like, wait, you gotta be careful, don't turn around if somebody calls your name, or you see a car coming, just that stiffness when you're having such tremendous pain. It was like normal. And I got to my car in disbelief, and I called my friend. And I said, in fact, my friend Chris was here, and I explained to him, I told him the whole story. I was at the Metropolitan, I was at the soup bar, we started talking, we went and sat down, we had our soup, and next thing he's praying with my feet up, and and like this up, no way up. But and the pain is gone. So I'm like, all right, let's see what happens. We even exchanged cell phone numbers. So the next day, I'm like, if the pain is still gone the next day, I'm going to, of course, give credit where credit is due. I'm going to call Stefan and say, hey, thank you. Next day comes, the pain is still gone. And this time, not only was the back pain gone, the front pain was gone. All pain was gone. I mean, it was gone. The cyst area was gone, the back pain area was gone, and mind you that I didn't tell him about the other pains in my body. I just told him about my back pain. So the next day I'm like, let's give it another 24 hours. Another 24 hours come, no pain. Let's wait another 24 hours. And this is going to come back in any minute now, right? It's just in my, kind of like a placebo effect. You think it's gone, so you begin to convince yourself that it's gone, and something in the psyche happens, and any day now, I'm just going to go back to being, in complete agony. And day after day after day, it just didn't come back.